This is the second one in the Devo series, Everlasting, and it's called Possession, an everlasting possession. That sounds pretty good, right? After all, there are no possessions here that we can tangibly hold on to in this earth that are everlasting. They don't go with us. They're not ours to keep when our life is over on earth. And yet there are verses in the Bible that talk about everlasting possessions. When God makes a covenant with Abraham in Genesis 17, he says, "The whole land of Canaan where you now reside as a foreigner, I will give you as an everlasting possession to you and your descendants after you, and I will be their God." So there's a land where Abraham currently resides as a foreigner, but God promises to give him an everlasting possession, not only to Abraham, but to his descendants. Promises from God. In Genesis 48, Jacob tells this to Joseph. "God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan. There he blessed me and said to me, I'm going to make you fruitful and increase your numbers. I will make you a community of peoples, and I will give this land as an everlasting possession to you and your descendants." Again, there's this promise of an everlasting possession. Think about land here in the natural on earth when it's passed down as an inheritance to a family member. How special that is when a father shares his own land and leaves it to his children. Think about when a father squanders or loses that land or possessions and has nothing to leave his children. Or when illness or great loss occurs and lands have to be sold and lost forever to the family. But it's not so with our Father. Our inheritance is everlasting, our possession. So the everlasting possession has more to do with God's personal and lasting relationship with us, his children. He says that it's ours and nothing can take it away. All of us will in our lives, if we live long enough, will see the death of our parents, and there will be things passed on to us if we want them. I've seen that even the cutest things or things we really want to keep, like my grandmother's rocker, just can't all be stored and kept due to lots of reasons. Space, maybe there's a squabble over the items, or perhaps something's no longer valuable now. And even the few things that I personally kept from my mother's house, like a cool set of bookends, are now my possession, but those can be stolen or broken or lost. They're a possession that's mine, but they're not everlasting. In Matthew, Jesus talks about worldly possessions and how they can't last, and they're not made to last, and we're not to store them up. We know from other verses that there are only three things that remain, and they're faith, hope, and love. So for God to give an everlasting possession connected with land, that upon which we stand and have our footing, it's significant. Faith, hope, and love last, and that's the covenant of an everlasting possession given from God to his children. That on which we can stand and never fall, and it will never pass away. In fact, many times, Jesus says that when we lose a grip of our possessions, we're able to grasp hold of what's eternal. I remember in the movie Hiding Place, Corrie ten Boom said to hold all things loosely in our grasp, so that when they're present no longer, the loss isn't so painful when they're taken from us, like having to pry our hands open. It's interesting that God has promised to meet all of our needs for shelter, clothing, and food, but he doesn't call those our inheritance or our possessions. What he does call a possession is the land he gives us in our relationship with him. In a will, we have a beneficiary. While the term heir legally refers to a person who receives the property of an individual who died, in common parlance, the term is often used to describe those inheriting property as designated in a will. I like the phrase an everlasting possession given from the Father because a possession is mine, something I can hold on to. It's everlasting and no one can snatch it from me. The only one who can give such a thing is God, and we are in relationship with him. So let's don't grasp and hold tightly to the things we possess that will only last a few years, but instead open our hands to receive the everlasting possession he places in our hands as we walk with him, child to father, forever and ever, holding that which he gives, our possession.